Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news. Yo, we getting ready to bring you the news, boy. You need to know it.
All right, welcome to another episode of Open Run. Today, as you can see, we got a big panel. So we're gonna start out. We got the usual suspects we got the four-time Georgia State champion out of Westover High School in Georgia, played his college ball at Western Kentucky and also Southeastern Louisiana, Mr. Andre Lewis. What's up there, Drake? He's also, he wanted me to say he's also the coach of Skill Center Elite 2027 and 2023. There it is, man.
Is it right?
Double duty. All right, so we got the Skill Center Elite Director and played his college ball at Cameron University in Oklahoma, Mr. John Arroyo. You see he got his jersey in the back. What up, John?
What up, what up, what up?
We got the #1 player development specialist in Tampa, Florida. Played his college ball at Texas Christian University as well as CFCC and St. Leo University. The Chris Ward.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's good, man? And we got myself. I ain't nobody. Just played at Polk Community College in St. Leo. That's about it for me. All right, so now we go to our invited guests on our panel. All right, so we're going to start off with a guy that scored well over 2,000 points in his high school career at Bayshore Christian. And he also played his college basketball at Bethune-Cookman College, BCC. Derick Smith. What up, D. Smith?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. You know.
All
Already.
All right, so we got the now that same year, man, we got the #1 rated point guard in the state of Florida. Tampa Catholic, scored over 1,000 points, over 500 assists. Played his college basketball at the University of Maryland in Baltimore County, Mr. Eric Hayes.
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
What's good,
Coach.
man? What's good?
What up, Coach?
What's up,
How y'all doing?
All right, so next we want to welcome back Mr. Antione Broxsie, who was a Tampa Bay Tech standout. Also played his college ball at the University of Minnesota and also Oklahoma State University. What's up, Mr. Brox?
You throw out their stats, you ain't gonna say that I averaged a triple double in high school or something like that.
I mean, I did too. I mean, hey,
Man, shut him in,
it ain't hard
man.
in Hillsborough County, man. Public school.
I mean, all I did just average a triple double. That's all I ever did. 21 blocks in one game.
Hey, bro, what you back?
What you average 7?
I'll hit you back.
You say what now?
Did you average 7?
No, I was triple double, baby. Easy. That's easy, buddy.
Why I can't get no love like that?
All right, man. So next up, we got a Tampa Prep standout. Played his college basketball at Western Kentucky and also the College of Charleston. Made 2 NCAA tournaments.
God damn, shaker.
Also had a brief stint with the Spurs, a long career overseas. Mr. Carl Thomas.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, I don't want to hear nobody complain about transferring in this room. God damn, boy, I done heard so many schools.
I know, right? that portal was wide open, man.
Hey,
everybody on here.
Hey, shaker, he followed you. He followed you, shaker.
Huh?
He followed you.
Who?
West Kentucky, then Charleston.
Who went to Charleston besides me?
You
went to Western Kentucky too.
Yeah.
He went to Western Kentucky and Charleston. Ain't that what you said, Joe?
No. Man, you
played.
Hey, man, y'all messing up Joe's introduction,
yeah,
yo.
man, we still doing introductions, man.
Hey,
All right,
Joe.
so next up, we got Mr. Yaphett King, who played at Redmond Community College, also Cal State Fullerton, and current assistant coach at Southern Methodist University. Fresh out of Pinellas County. What's up there, Fats?
Hey, Joe, hey, do you got my pro-am stats from 2000? Because they was live that year, boy. They was live right about 2000.
Fats, I remember you tried to swing on me one game, man, in the locker room. Remember that? We was in the hallway at HCC. When you and Leo got into it.
I don't remember that, bro. You breaking up old stuff, man.
All right, so we our last topic was an interesting one. So we're gonna run that same topic back. Do you guys think that a coach should have playing experience. All right. So what do you guys think? Let's start with you, Smith. What you think?
Yeah, because I mean, how can you tell somebody what to do, how to do it, when to do it if you ain't never done it? So shit, you got to be able to have played, have been in that heat, have been, have gotten hot, have been in the zone, so you can, tell those things. If you can't tell those things, you basically I wouldn't listen to you, not as no player.
So you don't think that someone could study the game and watch YouTube videos and do their research and be an assistant and learn how to,
Man, that's just like saying you can get a video game and that's the coach, man. No, hell no, you can't. No, you got to be done strapped up and then done something with yourself, and at least have some form of credibility when you say, hey, you got to do this for this reason.
What about that kid on the end of the bench?
What you mean?
That ain't never played a second.
Well, I mean, he played. He went to practice every day.
What about that manager?
Nah, the manager. You're a manager. You. All you did was give towels and water. You ain't really did nothing.
But so my argument was you have those guys that are managers. You have those kids that will never, like, they won't make a high school team, but you're gonna find a way to keep them around just because they're basketball heads. They're just so full of knowledge. They're gonna film. They're gonna listen to everything you say. They're gonna be able to relate to the kids because they're the same age. But they're around.
In today's society, these kids, that ain't gonna happen in today's society.
Exactly. But we're talking about when we were coming up, or we're talking about it's coaches, period. Like you have some guys that have, they were the water guys, they were the water boys, they were the managers, but they know how to study film. They know how to listen to you in your play calling. Now, they may not be able to go out and show you how to do it, but they'll prepare you for it. They'll know what type of offense to run. Now, they don't know what type of counter to run out of that offense.
Okay, so therefore, what kind of coach is that if you can't counter, you can't make no adjustments? What kind of coach is that?
Lawrence Frank.
Lawrence Frank. Who he coach for now?
He's in the league coaching as an assistant.
He in the front office with the Clippers.
He in the front office now.
Okay.
Wasn't he the head coach of the Nets for a little bit? Took the team to the finals.
Yeah.
He's with
Frank.
I mean, in your last podcast, you talked about the individuals in that situation on the bench. You got guys like Jason Kidd, who does his thing with the Lakers, and he for the most part the coach. I like him. I can't say that's gonna work for me.
Yeah, but and those dudes usually do surround themselves with guys that have knowledge. They really do. They can do X's, O's. They do all that. But as far as showing transferable skills, they can't do none of it. But
hey, Chris, so give me another name besides Lawrence Frank.
Well, I mean,
Van Gundy.
Brad Stevens.
Hey, but Van Gundy played a little bit now.
They played a little bit.
Which one?
The fat one.
Jeff did too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They played a little. They came from a basketball family. So I think the argument is too, Chris, what level that we talking about? Because Lawrence Frank, he paid his dues. Like he didn't just walk into a gym. So if you even talking about high school or even middle school coaches or whatnot, I don't think nobody here want to have their kid get on a team where they don't know about their coach. I think so. It takes levels because those people in the NBA, man, they paid their dues. They studied. That was they wanted that career. They wanted that life.
All right, let's break it down then. Okay, let's start with the high school level. Yaphett, what do you think? Do you think that you should have playing experience, and if so, to coach high school, what level of experience should you have?
I think it's good to have some playing experience. It's not necessarily mandatory. It would be nice. I know through my personal experience, I know some of the coaches that I played for all didn't have experience. I know it was good enough for me when I was younger. Obviously, the times have changed a little bit, but that's not the status quo now. But I think you know, I think at the high school level, it'd be nice if you play some high school basketball so you kind of have an idea about the flow of the game, understanding, you know, just high school basketball. So I think you should at least play high school for high school basketball.
Yeah.
So to teach, you have to go to college and study and learn how to be a teacher. Why not to teach high school? Why not have to play basketball in college on a college level and go to college to coach?
Would you let Lil Joe go play for a guy who ain't never touched no rock?
I mean, there's a lot of coaches out there you would be surprised that never played. You'd be surprised.
Come on, in college or high school? No, D.
Well, I mean, so good question, Shake. So, Smith, what are you talking about? You talking about college, high school, or what?
Cool.
Yeah, well, you said when I let JoJo play for a guy that never touched, because he has in middle school.
That middle school 5 games. That ain't 15 games in 3 seasons. That is the worst. That is garbage, man. That is an injustice to the game of basketball. That is the worst. That's the worst thing.
Let me shoot around the bull. I heard the podcast last night. Now, as a basketball family, right?
Yep.
You know everybody who have played like professional ball or high school ball or whatever. You just expect them to know what they're doing. You would expect them to know how to coach, right?
Right.
So I would say all players that have played the game, well, I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50. You would expect all players who have played the game on all different levels would know how to coach. You have some cases that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have managers, like Chris said, managers or kids that didn't hardly play, that just came up in a system, you know, that can also, they can hold their own, you know, on the coaching circuit. Like, for example, Coach Silk. Silk probably went to a D3 school where he had to pay to play, and he only played 2 years.
But he was
But after he finished that, he got his first assistant coaching job in college. I mean, like a graduate assistant. And he just moved up from there. And the dude still is in the league now as a high-profile contact. So, yeah, you know, I'm on the fence. It can go either way. It just depends on, you know, just your knowledge and your adjustment to the game.
I agree with Dre, and not to cut you off, both, because you could be a good coach, but you still have to be able to relate to those players. Those players have to be able to relate to those coaches that are trying to like, for example, I'm gonna just give you an example. I played at Tampa Prep. My best knowledge didn't come from my head coach. He gave me the foundation, the basics, but I got most of my my skill set coach. And all he would do when I would do something wrong, he would come bring me to the side and he would coach me as we played. But the head coach didn't do much. I mean, I don't know if D can vouch for that, because D Smith, you seen the development of how I came up through Tampa Prep in my early years. It wasn't really Coach Philon who was the head coach. He was the X's and O's guys, but it was really the assistant coach that really, you know, put a lot of you know, grunt into.
And that's what Chris brought to that point in the last podcast, as far as if you're the head coach, you're gonna surround yourself with people.
Yeah.
You know,
Coach Jones was the head coach.
do the things you really not
Well,
good.
Coach Jones, come on, man. Come on now. Coach Jones he was over there to make sure that the African American players stayed there and got it together. And he did his job. He did his
job. He was the muscle. He was the one, because it's like fighting. It's like fighting have a guy that know how to that's willing to fight. You know what I'm saying?
AOL dialogue, man, you're breaking up.
Yeah, well, I'm new on the Zoom thing, man. This ain't my cup of tea, man. But you know, I'm gonna try to make it do what it do. Now, I was saying that you have to be able to be relatable, man, to those players, man. For those players to make those adjustments.
And
I mean, you can have.
That's why Coach Jones was there with y'all. He was
I agree.
relating. I mean, I'm quite sure he didn't pull everybody to the side. He only pulled you and Jamal.
But I got one for you though. So like my whole thing about it is that I really feel like coaching is vastly overrated, man. Like in my personal opinion. Hey, you know, you hear people all the time talking about these coach makes these great players, this coach does this. If you make such great players, make another one then. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody make Kevin Durant. Ain't nobody make LeBron James. Ain't nobody make those guys. Those guys were already self-made. God put his finger on those dudes, and those dudes had what they had. So my opinion about that is that I think coaching is a bit overrated. It's about your players. It's about the buy-in. It's about getting those guys to be able to be accountable. But just in terms of like just the whole dynamic of coaching, man, it's overrated. If you ain't got no talent, you can't win no games. I don't care how good of a coach you are. I don't care what level you played at. You got to have talent.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. But now the Kevin Durant's and those guys, that's the top 1%. What about the vast majority of those guys? Some of those guys develop the coach.
But if you're a Division I basketball player, you're a Division I basketball player off the jump. Like I'm talking for me because I coach Division I basketball players, right? Like I've never seen anybody take a kid that got no talent and turn him into talent. Like that doesn't work like that. Coaching doesn't do that. Like I don't care how much skill development you do, it doesn't do that. You have to have a bare minimum of talent to even be in the conversation. And the people usually got the most talent usually be the ones who get it done.
I disagree. I disagree with that statement because at the end of the day, you can develop your own.
What do we develop?
What age you
if you can't run
kid.
and jump, ain't no development.
For example, E. Hayes. What year you went to the state finals or the Final Four?
You on mute.
You're on mute. You got to unmute.
We went in 2015.
You went to the Final Four or three?
You said Final Four what?
You either Final Four or the Finals. Which one was it?
Went to the Final Four.
Went to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get those kids that you had that made it to the Final Four?
When they was in 10th grade.
They was in 10th?
Yeah, the nucleus of them were in 10th grade.
Hey, how many wins did y'all get in 10th grade?
7.
So in 2 years, by the time they were seniors, they was in the Final Four in the state. But you those are coaches that develop their own. They don't need all that talent. They're gonna build a team.
Hey Dre, but did he develop the individual or did he develop the team?
You develop the team. If you're a coach, you got to develop the team. Ain't no individual.
Right. He managed the
But
team, not the individual.
you know who your go-to guys are. You gonna know who your dudes are. But you still gonna develop the whole team to win. And that's proven in the pudding right now.
So you're fast talking about the college level, but you talking about high school level. So that's, I think,
yeah,
a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, we kind of definitely speaking in two different. I get what you're saying about from the high school perspective. I definitely see that. You see it all the time where guys have lesser talent and basically outcoach other guys who got more talent. You definitely see that at the high school level a whole lot. Definitely a ton.
But on the college level, everybody you recruit your own kids. So really, there's really no excuse on the college level because you recruit kids to come to your school.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you also limited to whatever, depend upon your school, your conference, your connections, your demographic. You kind of limited to that too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just use it for instance. You know, certain schools in certain places can't get certain kids. You know, I don't want to put particular schools out, but you cap. There's a cap now. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't just unlimited. It isn't like, oh, I see player A and I'm just gonna be able to go get him. Like, nah, there's a cap depending upon what your shirt say.
Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of sleepers out there, a lot of unknowns.
You get too many sleepers, you'll be sleep all right.
Yeah, and I agree. You know, it's kind of being on the fence with it. I do think you can develop talent. I do think you can develop. Here's why. Because I think some kids, their process is a little bit, their maturation process is a little slower and later than some. So you have to know how to cultivate it, one, and you have to know how to implement it into your system. So now you're talking about a kid that been sitting on the bench for 2 years for you, Fat. Mm-hmm. 2 years. and you working with them every day. You don't see those kids. They just ain't there. They ain't there. And then finally, boom, the light comes on. Now you have your head coach, who may not have played, has implemented them. Now you know what they can do. They can run, they jump, but their basketball IQ ain't that high. Now you have to implement that kid into that system. That's where the coaching comes in. That's where making kids better come in. Because now you're having them do things that they were very uncomfortable doing, and you educate them on how to do it by just putting them in a place to be successful. So you can make kids better.
Hey, let's bring it back though. Like, so outside, I guess. Let's bring it back because you know, some people have different perception of what is coaching. You know, coaching could be management, coaching could be development. So I mean, I remember when I first moved to Oklahoma, my front neighbor was the assistant coach and the head coach of JV. That joker, I don't think he picked up any sport in his life but running. and he used to take me home and he used to explain to me why I wasn't playing as much over the starting point guard. And what do you think is going through my head? Like, you ain't never played this game. Like, why am I even listening to you? Like, I would stop the car, we go play one-on-one, I'll bust your ass, and how you gonna tell me that why I'm not playing? So I think that's what Smith is saying at the same time, but what is coaching to y'all? Because I think it's a little bit of both, in my opinion.
What you think, Brox?
So I've been listening. I just was quiet for a little bit. You know, from college to pro or whatever, we try to here. You talk about the Grizzlies, right? I work with the Grizzlies. How do you get players in Memphis to do play like players in LA? You have to have coaching. You gotta have it. There's the reason why they win 55 games and get into the playoffs every day. Is because they have to develop players. They were known for development of players from that. Now, if you ask me, you say, "Hey, Brox, man, you know, does these coaches have to have whatever?" I think the respect has to be there from the start. Like, if a coach knows what he's talking about, players know exactly like that is the coach for them. Like Steve Clifford down in Miami, down in Orlando. He ain't never played. Lawrence Frank Vogel, he ain't never played. But if they know what they're talking about, players are going to buy in. But my thing is about coaching is, I think from a player development point of view, you have to be able to play. You have to be able to show, to demonstrate, be able to do those moves that you're actually teaching these players. Now, as a head coach and whatnot, yeah, it's good to have a Nate McMillan that understands and whatever, and be able to galvanize and be able to say, you know what, dog, we need you to go out there and you need to go out here and do exactly what I know. It's just like Victor Oladipo. You think he wasn't coached? No, he was coached from Orlando to
he was coached at Indiana.
Oklahoma.
Exactly.
That was my assistant. Well, that was my assistant coach at Western
So he got with Nate McMillan that looked at him and said, "Look, we just gonna let you play. We're not gonna put you in the system. We just gonna give you the basketball. We're gonna let you play." That's what happened.
Got that, Brox?
Just quiet, man. I see you, boy.
Hey, what you got, man? What you think? So, Hayes, you one of the guys that I always have seen maximize the potential of the players that you have. Do you feel like the
Bill Clinton over there?
Do you feel like a coach should have playing experience?
To a certain extent, yes. For me, the biggest thing, maybe because part of my profession is teacher, coach has to be a teacher, which means like someone was saying, management, like in the classroom, you gotta have classroom management. You gotta know how to put kids in the right position to be successful. Make sure they get in the right stuff to challenge them to make them better. So my definition of a coach is just a teacher. Being a player, I think it helps. It helps because one, you've been on that other side. So just like now as a coach, sometimes people come down the court, some of my players come down the court, I see what they should see before they should see it. Or when they make a mistake, I know why they made it, or I saw what they saw. It may not have worked out because maybe they aren't as quick. Because, like you said, sometimes you got to have certain skills. Their eyes may have saw it, but their bodies can't do it. So that's what I try to tell them. Listen, the biggest thing you got to do is understand. Yeah, I'm glad you can see it, but understand your limitations, what you can and what you can't do. So I'm not saying that a guy who doesn't play or hasn't played the game can't be a coach, because there are quite a few guys who haven't played a lot or weren't top players. But what I will say is, you guys are talking about the managers and what have you. Those managers are at practice every day. Those managers are the ones passing the balls, going through the drills. They're learning some of the skill stuff that you need to get it done. They go sit in the coach's office. They watch film with the coaches. They run and go do this for the coaches. So managers, especially at the college level, they have they're more in tune to the game than just sitting here getting water. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what everybody sees them do. But like I said, I know how my managers were when I was in college. They were a part of the practice too. Like I said, they did drills, they did this, they did that. So I'm kind of on the fence, but I will say this: I do lean more towards if you're a former player, if you understand the game, because every guy who played the game, some guys didn't understand the game. They were good because they were stronger, faster, taller, more athletic, what have you, than some guys. But if they have a good understanding of the game, I think it gives you a little edge more so than a guy who's never played.
So to pick back on that, I would say coaching is teaching the kid how to play the game. Because at the end of the day, a skill set, and to back that, all your NBA superstars, do they have the same skill set?
No.
They don't have the same skill set. They are all dominating, some doing more than others, and basically doing the same thing. So me coaching is just teaching the game, and at the same time teaching the game, teaching life lessons at the same token. And that's where the communication with the kids, just because most kids that are playing, I don't care what level you're coaching on, they want to trust somebody. They have to be able to trust their coach. And basically, you're probably that dad away from home. Kids that don't have dads, you're probably that dad. But the ones that do, you still probably that extra influence from home. So everything plays hand in hand. But at the end of the day, you still will have to know the game in order to teach it, in order to coach it.
Well, going back,
not to knock y'all big men. Let's go step up to the NBA. Most of the coaches in the NBA have been guards.
Yeah,
because as a guard, point guard, we probably got 2 or 3, 4 point guards that have been on here, and I played it myself. You got to know everything. If you're one of those point guards that manage the game, to me, those are the better coaches than like I said, than those superstars.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Because Michael Jordan can't coach, and he's considered the GOAT. But I would not trust Michael Jordan on the sideline coaching my damn team.
But see, I think Michael Jordan's relatable experience and the work ethic that he puts in, he's the top 1% of the top 1%. So his relatable experience won't match with most of the guys the other 11 guys on the team. So I think that's why those superstar players might struggle. You know what I'm saying?
I would let Michael Jordan train my kids. I let him train to get that mentality. But as far as coaching, I wouldn't let him coach my kids.
And that's understandable too, because I can go back, like Smith was talking about, at the high school level. Every coach, every kid at the high school level, those are the kids that you have to make an impression on. Those are the kids that if you've done it, they're going to listen to you. If you have not done it, it might be a 50-50. especially those kids that can play. Now, once you get to the college level and the pro level, you know, especially at the college level, the reason why you chose to go to that school is because 9 times out of 10 is because of the program that the coach built. Whether he played college ball or did not play college ball, that was a choice. Now, in high school, I could see it. I could see it. A kid will not, I'm telling you, a kid will not, you'll have issues for those better players unless you've had some extreme success and you're an older guy. You will not be able to capture that kid's attention, and you will not reach his full, he will not reach his full potential. You know, he won't unless you've had some success. I understand that. At the high school level, at the college level, man, listen, you got coaches out there that have never played the college game, ever played the college game, and they're gonna be on that sideline coaching, and they're gonna work their way up from a manager to being a student assistant to being an assistant coach, and they work their way down the line, and they become head coaches. And then you look at them like, man, where did you play college ball? I didn't. Where did you play? Like, you choose that school based on the success of the coach, not based on where he played. Now, high school, you're looking at a coach like, man, look, you can't. These kids look at, even as a player, they look at you now like, coach, you wasn't that good. Now I'll tell your ass up right now. You know, so you still have some convincing to do, but it's easier. I think it's easier, Smith, if you have played and you do have some knowledge of the game and you've been in that fire from a high school standpoint. Now, as a college and a pro, gloves are off. Those guys are there because they work their way up, like they said. They've been around a lot of basketball.
Hey, Chris, so we all agree that they work there at college, so it's kind of hard to have this conversation about the college and NBA because they put in their time. But let's bring it down to what we're doing now, the grassroots, the AAU, the middle school basketball. Like, does it matter? You know, and why? And I'm not gonna lie to you. When I'm coaching,
hold on, I'm gonna jump out on that one. Hey. Yes, it does matter.
So look,
you can't take. Just say for example, I'm using it just for example. You cannot take a parent and his son is on that team and he's never played or really never coached. His only objective is to make his son better with people around. Everybody has to be coached up. From player 1 all the way to 15, however many they have. But you have people that are just coaching AAU because their kid is on the team, and regardless if their kid can play or not, he gonna play.
I got a question.
Regardless, he can be the worst kid on the team. His ass might be in the starting lineup.
I got a question.
Called daddy ball.
Hey, let me ask you this though. So, like, what's the difference between somebody who's got a kid or somebody who was on the team but didn't play versus somebody who was good? Like, is the qualification has to be you were a good player or you just had to be on the 18?
You just got to know what you're doing.
No, but I'm just saying though. We say you got to play.
The sideline gonna tell itself. You gonna
know.
Said
if you got to play, then you got to. What if you ain't played? What if you was the 13th man on the bench and you never got in the game, never ever, but you was on the team? Does that mean like, okay, well, I got basketball experience now?
Let Smith take that one. What you got, Smith?
I can say that I got a homeboy. He coached at Chamberlain. He his high school career, he sat on the end of the bench. Well, he went to the postseason 2 times, back to back. So I can honestly say that hell he played for Doug Applin, and he swears by Doug Applin, and that's kind of what he models his little deal behind. And you know, he's successful. He's successful.
Right. But you're talking about those dudes that have been around the game, and that's all I'm saying. I'm like, those kids that have been around the game, you know, they can. I mean, the excellent that you can take, and this is you can watch high school basketball, you can watch college basketball, you can take a team that's skilled and beat the hell out of an athletic team just by X and O's and just by basketball IQ, just by understanding the game, and that's all I'm saying is. You know, and that could be coming from a guy that sat there on the end of that bench that didn't get a chance to play in any game. You know, we talk about it all the time. If a kid can't play, teaching professions around the game. What if a kid just loves the game of basketball? He knows every stat. He knows every piece of movement. I mean, he knows every set that anybody runs. You don't think
but he can't do it.
He can't do it, but he knows how to implement it.
He knows how to do it, but he can't do it.
Yeah, but we're talking about game time experience. We're talking about, can he go out there and teach a kid? That's where these things called systems come in. You know, you telling me a kid that watched somebody's system and developed their own little taste of that system and put some systems together that they believe in can go out and win. They can go out and coach their ass off. That don't mean they can show them how to do it in practice. That don't mean they can show them how to shoot. That don't mean they can show them about footwork. They can show them about positioning on the floor. They can show them about slipping. They can show about basketball IQ. They can prepare them to play. Now, they don't have to be able to show them to do it. They have to be able to prepare them to do it. That's it.
Yeah, you got a point there, Chris. You got a point. You got a point.
You know, so yeah, I mean, we can't go to the college level. We can't go to the pro level because a fat nose. All you guys know that play college basketball know there's going to be some dude, some manager sitting on the end of the bench that's going to end up a head coach. Everybody know one. Everybody knows one that's going to be a head coach or be in a college situation. Like, damn, that bitch was the water boy.
We got one right now, Kevin Willard. He was the coach's son at West Kentucky. He the head coach at Seton Hall right now to this day.
And he's the kid that you can call at 1 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, come rebound for me."
Yep.
And he gonna watch every piece of your footwork. He gonna watch how you move. He gonna watch how the ball hits off the rim. He gonna watch your spots where you like to shoot the ball. And that person's gonna develop something as far as play wise that's gonna get you to your spots where you can get. Now, he might not be able to teach you how to get to the spots, but he gonna get you to the spots where they run 15 screens. I mean, that's just how it works.
Yo, so we all saying that a cat that barely played varsity basketball his entire career, played JV basketball only, and wasn't that good. As long as he loved the game and studied YouTube, he could be a good coach.
John, I think you're taking it a little bit
YouTube.
But we know people like that,
YouTube coach.
No, what it is, like that 13th man, you got to think about it. He's going against Joe Philon every day. He's going against Carl Thomas every day. He's going against Andre Lewis. He's going against D. Smith every day. He's going against all of us every damn day. So he got no choice but to be better. He got no choice but to learn. So I can't dismiss that because he's in practice. He's in war every day with me. He's in war every day. You know, out of those 5 days a week, we training. He's doing the same damn shit I'm doing to get better. Now he may not, his ceiling may not be as high as mine, but at going through the same shit that I'm going through. You know, even though he may not play in the game, this war in practice, I'm putting his ass in the hole every damn time. He's going and he's getting it. He getting his work every damn day. Now, motherfucker from JV is a different story. JV is a different story. Like, you can't tell me you played JV basketball and you stopped playing JV basketball, you became a water boy, and then you stopped playing or whatever. Now you telling me, man, I need you to come over here and do this post move with me. Nah, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna fly.
In high school, that's not gonna work.
Brox, you must be hungry as hell. You're getting closer and closer to that refrigerator, man. Jake, what you got?
Who's it?
On the fact about coaching the kids. My computer keep breaking up.
He on that dial-up.
Go in and out. What was the question pertaining to what Chris or what Broxsie was saying? What was the question?
At the young age, do you think they should have playing experience, and at what level?
I think me personally, I think at a young age, I don't think that the coaches should have. You don't have to have that.
Roger Troutman again.
For them to really respond.
Yeah, you on that dial-up.
He got that T-Pain on his shit.
Hey, I ain't got that that thing is that Wi-Fi speed up down. I ain't got that Wi-Fi speed up thing y'all got.
Hey, go
Are you
get
still
that.
playing overseas?
Hey, go check that rotary phone. That rotary phone's hooked up.
All right, so you're fast.
Am I still playing overseas?
You're fast. I got a question that's a little bit off topic. So you coaching on a college level at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
How much attention do you guys pay to those mixtapes that all of these kids post? Do you guys look at that, and is that instrumental in y'all's recruiting process?
You know, I think, one of the biggest things, man, I always say I just try to trust my own eyes. You know, somebody may call me up, and one of you guys are going to hit me up on here and say, hey, I got a kid I want you to look at. I'm going to send you some film. It's a mixtape. And if it looks good, then I'm gonna say, all right, hey, he looks pretty good, but I want to watch him live. And I think that was one of the great advantages of AAU. So you could kind of do a little bit of one-stop shop. So you could watch all of the kids, and you could go see all of the guys that people tell you, hey, I think he's pretty good. And from that point there, you trust your own eyes.
So the mixtape kind of puts them on your radar a little bit. Well, okay, let me go see this kid. So
yeah.
The mixtape does work.
Yeah, it does work. But I mean, I'm not gonna watch a mixtape and say, hey, I'm gonna give you a scholarship based on your mixtape. Like, nah, they don't work like that. Like, I gotta see you firsthand and see how good your game is, and I want to see you firsthand and see how you guard. I want to see your interactions with your teammates. I want to see how your game plays. I want to see what that jump shot looks like when it's getting pressured. You know, I want to see all of those other things, all those other elements before I just jump off there and offer.
And how much developing? And this go for Fat and Broxsie. How much developing do you guys do at that level? How much?
Go ahead, Broxsie.
We do a lot of development. That's our thing. Like, in working with the Rockets, that's all we do. That's our stamp. That's if you look at Daniel House, he's a starter. Shit, he played down in Rio Grande for two years. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, Martrez Harrell, he was here. He was with the Rockets too. I mean, our thing is how are we gonna get players so you got to understand, like, from college to pro, we're talking about like signing guys for $3 million or $2 million a year. That's going to be starters. That's a deal for any NBA team. So think about that. If we sign.
Can I fill out an application?
I mean, that's a deal, though. I mean, if your ass can make threes at a 40% clip.
Yeah.
And in an NBA game, after James Harden does dribble, and you got to hit a shot.
Yeah.
Shoot, Shake, you got more skills than old boy. We got, what's his name? Damn.
Don't get fired, goddamn.
I know, right?
But he'll say it. Shake got more skills than damn, what's the boy that hit the corner threes all the damn time?
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker.
How you don't know your player's name, man?
I mean, you talking about Green?
Nah, Tucker.
PJ Tucker.
Tucker can't put the ball on the ground. He can't. But one thing he can do, he can hit threes at a high clip.
He defend, he rebound, he do the dirty work because he was on the national team.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he does what is asked of him. You know, but he's coached though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he works on his game on a day-to-day basis. If you're making $1 million, you're making over $1 million, aren't you gonna go in the gym and say, man, I gotta keep my shit tight every damn day? Playing with these superstars, it's hard. It's hard. I watch people work with Marc Gasol every goddamn day. Like, Mark comes in and he knows he knows X's and O's. He knows what every team is doing. He watches film. He does everything. But at the same time, JB has a coaching. He has to say, look, we're gonna put you in a situation to make sure you're not taken advantage of on pick and rolls. You watch him. He's not good on pick and rolls a lot. So what we do, we put him back in drop coverage, and we tell him, look, you don't pass by this thing because you're gonna put us in a precarious situation where, you know, Donovan Mitchell's gonna blow past you and score every damn time if you stay up to the level like that. So I mean, player development. I mean, development and coaching, like actually working players out every damn day. You have to do it. It has to be done at this level every damn day. Every day.
So do you think that every high school team should have that?
The problem is in high school, you guys don't have a lot of time, and that's the issue. Like here, it's all basketball. There you have school, you have things. I mean, you take people down in NCAA. They got so many sanctions. Y'all got no chance to even get on the court with the players. I can get on the court with the players anytime.
Hey, Broxsie, I got to jump in there on you one thing. I think one of the things is, it varies from state to state. And this is pretty crazy since I've been out here recruiting in Texas. Texas has an athletic period. And so these coaches get a period every day to work with their kids outside of practice.
See?
Like, there's a huge commitment to athletics within the state. And so from a standpoint for you guys, I know being in the state of Florida and growing up in it, we had nothing like that. I mean, you're going through the whole day, hungry as hell, 2:30 practice. Yeah, in Texas, they got an athletic period.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, the high school basketball, it's huge.
They got like a class, like a period, like a class.
Yes, 11:30, 7:30 in the morning, 10:30. And I think
he can do individual workout to get his players better during that.
No question. And it's for your basketball team only.
Does he have a bigger? Do they allocate funds and give him a bigger staff?
Or he has a bigger salary?
That's not what I know. I just know they have athletic periods. And so in addition to that, what also happens is that coaches, we recruit for bang for our buck. So you go to Texas and you go, let's say for instance, you spend 2 days in Dallas, you can see 8 kids in one day if you really map out your day right. Whereas when you come home to Florida, you might could get 2 or 3 people to kind of get on a schedule where, hey, somebody will go a little bit early after school and maybe somebody goes later and you see 2 kids. It really puts the kids in a state at a tremendous disadvantage, man. That's why, people are recruiting Texas like crazy because you go see so many kids in the day.
Because they already have a work ethic coming out of high school.
Oh, that's new.
All right, so let's take a quick round table. All right, so Brox, yay or nay, you have to have coaching experience to coach the game.
You mean
playing experience to coach the game?
Yeah, I believe you do.
You do?
I do.
100%?
100%.
All right. Dre, what you got? Yay or nay?
I'm on the fence, man.
Was you 50-50?
Yeah, I'm 50-50. I'm on the fence.
As always.
All right. Arroyo, what you got, John?
Man, like I said last night, man, I'm 70-30. I'm big on knowing the game. Big on it.
All right. Smith, what you got?
You gotta be done played. You can't just
100%?
100%.
All right, Chris, what you got?
I'm like, it just depends on at what level. At the high school level, I think you got to have some guys that can teach the game, that have done it, that can implement it. But you do have those guys that, like I said, so I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dre. I'm 50-50. Now, would I want a guy that's played the game to coach me? Yes, I would. But do I think they make the best coaches? No, I don't think so. I think guys that know the game make the best coaches.
All right, what about you, Hayes?
I say 60-40 in favor of, you got to be able to play. I'm kind of like Chris. Depending on what level you are, it may not matter as much, but I do think, like even from a high school standpoint, some coaches who haven't coached, like for example, my high school coach, he didn't really play high school basketball like that. At least, he played a little bit. But the thing is, when he was a young coach, he surrounded himself by good veteran coaches. His first coaching job, he was the JV coach under Skip Prosser, who used to be the coach who coached Chris Paul at Wake Forest and coached at Xavier. Then when he moved to the Tampa, he was an assistant coach under Gordon Gibbons. So he learned from some guys who were legendary type coaches. So his lack of playing experience he made up with being around championship level coaches. So, I think that's what helped him become the coach that he was, more so than playing. But I do feel if you play, you have a better perspective of the game than you do if you never played.
All right, Shake, what you got?
You go 50-50.
50-50?
I'm on the fence too.
All right. Yaphett, what you got?
Yeah, I'm on the fence as well too. I don't think it's necessary. I think you can learn and study because not everybody's going to be fortunate enough to have the athletic gifts to be able to play. But that doesn't mean you can't sit and you can learn. You can be mentored to be able to be able to do the job at a high level.
All right. So I'm 60-40. I think that I don't think you have to play the game fully, but I think it does give you a little bit of an advantage if you have, based off of a relatable experience. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys for coming out. Brock, Smith, Fat, Lump, Shake. Oh, Brock, you got something else?
Yeah, real fast.
All right.
Before we go, outside of Nick Nurse, how many NBA coaches have played that won a championship? Think about that.
Played where?
That's what I'm saying. There's all your NBA championship coaches look in the past and just pay attention to how many of them actually played.
Phil Jackson.
All damn near every last one of them.
Eric Spoelstra.
Hey, but let's be real. It ain't but a handful of people winning championships anyway, though. Like, he was coming out of the damn Phil Jackson tree, the Popovich tree, the Pat Riley tree, and the
I
Red
see
Auerbach
Chuck
tree.
Daly
Everybody
from the
winning
Pistons. I
rings
don't
after
think
that.
he played a day in his life.
Who is that?
Chuck Daly. He coached Pistons back in the day.
Yeah.
So Daly used to fight though. He could talk about a fight.
He don't even look like a hooper.
Damn
He
it.
could fight though.
Damn
He's
it.
a boxer.
Every coach that won a championship then played some kind of basketball at a high level.
That's fair.
Except Nick Nurse.
He was the only one that had Nick Nurse.
Huh?
Nick Nurse was the only one that played.
Well, no, he ain't the only one. There's a couple of them that ain't played, but most of them is all have played in some kind of NBA or college basketball.
I don't think Brad Stevens played. Did he play?
But he hadn't won a championship.
No, I was just saying, but he's like widely regarded as one of the best coaches in the NBA.
What about the dude who coached the Pelicans?
Who? Gentry?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gentry
Just played in the league.
played in the league.
He really played college ball at
Hey,
St.
somebody get that milk from behind Dre ears back there, man. Get that milk, man.
Hey, I don't look at history on dude like that.
But you look at a dude like Brad Stevenson. Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens was a manager. He was I don't know if he played, but I'm just saying he was a student of the game. And his basketball IQ is stupidity.
But what about his people skills? When Kyrie started to bitch, he ain't gonna tell him the truth and say shut the fuck up and go play.
Who can say that? Who can say that in today's NBA to the superstars? So you trying to tell me?
There's a lot of them that can say it.
How many outside of Popovich?
Doc Rivers and Popovich. That's probably about it.
That motherfucker down in Miami. That's why motherfuckers don't want to go play down in Miami because they know good well they can't
run it down there.
Pat Riley or Eric Spoelstra?
You can't do that shit in Milwaukee either. Can't do that shit in Milwaukee. You can't do that shit in Cleveland. I mean, not Cleveland, but you can't do that shit in San Antonio. Can't do that shit. You can probably do that shit in LA because what's name running. But shit, a lot of these places, Utah, you can't do that shit.
Yes, you can in Utah because Jerry Sloan was untouchable until Darren Williams ran him up out of there.
Jerry Sloan lost his mind, and then he used that against Jerry Sloan.
Nah, he was a coach killer, man. He got him out of there, bro.
You see where you see Duran at now, but no, Jerry Sloan lost his mind, and what's name put him on blast in front of the whole team. That's how he got out. That's how he got Jerry Sloan up out of there. But shit, before that, no, you can't do that in Utah at all.
Oh, there go that bullshit.
Yeah, let me go get that straight, man.
Corona.
Boy.
Hey, Broxsie, how long you been with the Rockets?
This is my first year. Last year I was with the Grizzlies.
Okay.
That's how I got all that fresh Grizzlies gear, dog. I don't like the Grizzlies like that. They were free. I like free.
Taylor Jenkins ain't never played. I mean, they don't really have talent like that. They're top 8.
Who's that?
Grizzlies this past year.
But Chuck Daly did play Division I basketball at St. Bonaventure.
You go.
Played Division I basketball.
I just say he don't look like it. He just don't have that look. I ain't looking.
He was an old man. He
Like
might have been, you know.
Right.
He had his day, I'm sure.
Chuck Daly look like a gangster. Like he part of the mafia or something.
Yeah, he did. All right, man, but that's our time, fellas. I appreciate y'all coming on, man. We do it again sometimes. You're fat, sure. Smith.
I appreciate it. Good to see y'all boys, man.
Good to see y'all.
Y'all
too, man.
Hey, we're gonna put the whole band back together. One last hurrah in the Pro-Am this summer.
Well, Lou has one. Well, ain't gonna be this summer.
Hey, I just wonder who's gonna chase some point guards around. It ain't gonna be me.
I mean, me.
2-3 zone. 2-3 zone.
All day.
Wow.
We ain't got to worry about Shaker and Smitty eating up all the minutes because they go get tired.
You need so bad, boy. I ain't doing nothing. Ain't no more.